I'm Deborah Norville. While you're sleeping, news is being made in Connecticut, the nation, and around the world. Now you can catch up on all the news you need early mornings right here on WVIT 30. Join me weekday mornings at 6:30 for NBC News at Sunrise, followed at 7 by Today with Jane Pauley and Bryant Gumbel. At 7:25 and 8:25, Harlan Levy brings you up to date on the local news and weather with Connecticut News This Morning. Start your weekday mornings at 6:30 right here on WVIT 30, Connecticut's NBC station.
Well, if you look at my background, I grew up here in Connecticut. I went to school here. I was a congressman from here for 8 years. And, you know, I think of all the people that I met in that time. And they do say in television that the answer's often just a phone call away. But it does help if you know who to call.
This is Connecticut News Digest.
Good evening. A dangerous inmate who escaped from Summers Prison is still on the loose tonight. We'll have the latest on the search for Frederick Merrill at 11.
Plus, officials say the accidental deaths of 2 Canterbury girls was caused by carbon monoxide poisoning, but the girls' parents may still face charges.
The U.S. submits a new plan to simplify verification measures of nuclear weapons.
Plus, Gary Hart, will he or won't he get back in the presidential race?
We'll have these stories plus sports and weather coming up at 11 on Connecticut News Tonight.
Any Fashion Expo sale.
What he does in school today could change his life or end it. Why do kids turn to crime? Why are kids killing kids? I'm Kathy Adams. Friday evening at 7:30, we'll explore the problem along with a select panel of experts before a live studio audience. Don't miss this very important program. A For Kids' Sake special, Kids Killing Kids. Friday evening at 7:30 on Channel 2.
Clean up the neighborhood. Join us for Rouge Rescue 87.
WTVX, Fort Pierce, Stewart, Vero, and the Palm Beaches. And now, WTVX News, a comprehensive report and analysis of today's major news events. With Jim Holmes, Anita Boyd, weather with Chris Farrell, and Steve Yavner Sports.
Good evening, everyone. Citrus growers sounded off in Fort Pierce today.
They had their chance to talk to state leaders about the spread of citrus canker. Agriculture Commissioner Doyle O'Connor conducted the...
The push for district elections continues.
We'll talk live with an advocate next.
For the beach and boaters, we have small craft advisory already in a...
And tropical storms.
It must be October. The local outlook is next.
I agree.
Well, that's the news for this Tuesday. We thank you for joining us.
The CBS Evening News is next, and we'll see you back here at 11. Have a nice one, folks.
Tonight at 9, join us for Love, Mary, starring Christy McNichol as a rebellious teenager who defeats the odds. Following Hometown at 8, here on WTVX.
I care. Once.
The voice of terror at sea. Meet our demands or we will kill. In Cairo, the voice of relief, the ship passengers who got away. In America, the voice of fear and frustration for those still held at the point of a gun.
We're a very close family, and this is just tearing us apart.
Good evening. This is the CBS Evening News. Dan Rather reporting. Like a recurring nightmare where some details change, but the overall terror scenario stays the same, here's what we believe we know tonight about the still-in-progress hijack at sea of the Italian cruise ship Achille Lauro. Exactly.
We will return to the television premiere of Love, Mary.
WTVX, Fort Pierce, Stuart, Vero, and the Palm Beaches. WTVX News, Nightcast, an update of today's major news events with Jim Holmes, Anita Boyd, tomorrow's weather outlook with Chris Farrell, and the latest in sports with Steve Yapner.
Good evening, everyone. Tropical storm Isabel is gaining strength as she moves toward the northwest.
The storm may threaten parts of the east coast of Georgia and Florida. Chris Farrell is joining us with the latest. Chris? There.
This is WPDE TV 15, Florence, Myrtle Beach. Here's what's coming up in 30 minutes on 15 News Night Beat.
A group of concerned citizens will be meeting on the Grand Strand trying to put an end to spouse abuse. Another group in the PD is meeting trying to improve community problems. We'll tell you what both groups have to say in 11 at 11. And they're talking garbage in Darlington, talking about raising fees, that is. Meteorologist Ed Piotrowski has a damp forecast, and sports director Bob Mahalik gets us into the high school hoops postseason on the Night Beat.
You're watching WPDE TV 15. And now, Steve Hawley, Tiffany Cochran, meteorologist Ed Piotrowski, and sports director Bob Mahalik. This is 15 News Night Beat.
Good evening, I'm Steve Hawley.
And I'm Tiffany Cochran. Here's your first look at news on the Night Beat.
Some folks in Hartsville are trying to take back their streets. 15 reporter.
Hi, I'm Will Schreiner. I'm here in beautiful New York City, and I'm looking forward to the new Will Schreiner Show, which debuts September 14th right here on Channel 4, weekday mornings at 9. The Will Schreiner Show, it's going to be an entertainment, information, sort of fun-filled show, and what better place to do it than here in friendly New York City.
3, 2, 1. Nobody predicts the weather like Al Roker. News 4 New York. Is there any reason to watch anyone else?
Saul Bellow and Country's Charlie Daniels tomorrow, live at 5.
From WNBC TV, this is News 4 New York with Chuck Scarborough and Sue Simmons.
Good evening. A man who allegedly terrorized a subway train with gunfire is under arrest.
It happened earlier.
Southwest Florida's news is Fox News, your news.
From Hollywood to the world, you're watching the Fox Tuesday Night Movie.
I'm Jennifer Crawford. Coming up tonight on Fox News at 10, as tensions continue to mount in the situation with Iraq, the United States is increasing its military power in the Persian Gulf. We'll bring you the latest on that story coming up tonight on Fox News at 10.
Southwest Florida's news is Fox News, your news.
I think it's a great idea to raise the price. This way the children couldn't afford to buy them.
Hear what people are thinking. Only on Fox News at 6 and 10. Fox News, your news. Fox. Now, Fox News at 10 on WFTX TV.
Good evening, I'm Pete Scoville. Here's what's happening right now on Fox News at 10. A Lee County woman says she was only protecting her pet. Find out why she's being punished. Then see how Charlotte County citizens band together to take action against an area rip-off artist.
This fall's biggest adventure is coming. No one will be voted off, and there's only one big challenge. Get Home from the middle of nowhere. Lost, NBC this fall.
NBC 739 News at 11. Coverage you can count on.
They could be coming to San Diego, but are they safe? New revelations tonight about falsified records involving the MV-22 Osprey. Good evening, everyone.
Now, live, this is NBC5, your source for live, local, late-breaking news.
Good evening, I'm Christy Nelson.
And I'm Kevin Coakley. A big bust tonight in North Texas. Investigators breaking up a major identity theft ring with dozens of...
When you spot breaking news on the street, get help. Then get News 40. Just dial pound 40 on your Singular wireless phone and get connected to the most experienced news station in Western Mass. Accidents, fires, traffic problems, severe weather. News can be right around the corner, right on your street. Don't just be a spectator. Be a part of the news coverage you can count on day after day. Pound 40 and Singular Wireless. It's your free connection to news coverage you can count on.
It's Wednesday. This tape won't make it to air on Agawam's public access channel. We'll tell you why. They're not your typical voters as students in Springfield cast their ballots for the city's next mayor. And the Supervisors Union of the Springfield Police Department get ready to take a vote of no confidence against their chief. Coverage of tonight's top stories begins right now.
Live from WGGB Springfield. You're watching News 40 at 6. Coverage you can count on.
Good evening. Springfield Police Chief Paul Amira is once again embroiled in a controversy with the top brass in the police department. Police
tonight at 11.
Over 200 children in Springfield, Holyoke, and Chicopee come together to pledge not to use drugs, alcohol, or get involved in crime.
Also,
will the chilly temperatures last through the overnight and into the weekend? Chief Meteorologist Tom Babakova will let you know.
Plus,
it's Friday, and that means we've got football fever. We'll have all the highlights from the local high school football scene.
News 40, coverage you can count on. You're watching News 40 at 6, coverage you can count on.
Jurors in the murder trial of a is on the news is next.
Live from WGGB Springfield. You're watching News 40 at 11. Coverage you can count on.
Police supervisors in Springfield will take a vote of no confidence against Police Chief Paul Amira. Good evening. That vote will be taken next Tuesday.
Find ABC 7 online at WVII.com. It's coverage you can count on. This is News 7.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Shelley Pullen. Fairfield police say it appears a Benton man died. On News 7, ordinary Americans will take center stage at the Republican National Convention, including a barber from Kennebunkport. The cutting edge of politics next.
Laredo's top-rated newscast on KLDO.
This is an Eyewitness News Update.
Good evening, I'm Dot Pedersen. A Laredo Police Officers Association member says he thinks the district attorney should resign because of the way he prosecuted an alleged cop killer. And Laredoans remember fallen soldiers on this Veterans Day. We'll have those stories, plus a special look at sports gambling in Laredo on Eyewitness News at 10.
The best newscast in Texas.
On KLDO.
Thursday, UPI suggests tape Cosby, Watch Our World. Then, how runaways turned prostitutes are being saved from the streets. Our World on 2020 Thursday.
Anyone who offers you crack is not your friend. Say no. You be the boss.
As many as 500,000 children labor on America's farms. Some communities encourage it even where it borders on being illegal. Tomorrow on World News Tonight.
In the news, county officials consider putting juvenile offenders in an alien detention center.
Authorities estimate up to $250,000 a week is bet in Laredo sporting events.
And a Laredo Police Officers Association past president says the DA should resign.
Stay tuned. Laredo's top-rated newscast is next.
Laredo Eyewitness News Tonight with Randy Kent and Doc Pedersen. Les Norton on sports. And Cindy Pena with weather. And now, Laredo Eyewitness News Tonight.
Webb County commissioners toured an alien detention center today with an eye to when Eyewitness News continues. A San Antonio police officer is shot to death.
And we'll show you how a nearby small-town newspaper serves its community.
Cindy, winter doesn't officially begin, I guess, until later on in December, but it sure feels like it outside.
I know, but it doesn't. It's going to stay here till the rest of the week, but it looks like the weekend might actually be pretty nice. For the rest of the week, temperatures are going to remain in the 50 to 60 degree range, but then come Saturday and Sunday, we might see a totally different story. We might see 70-degree weathers with sunny skies. Now, that looks pretty good for the weekend. In the meantime, keep bundling up. Let's take a look at our current conditions outside. It's kind of cloudy out there, and the temperature 49 degrees. The humidity at 84%. Winds are from the...
De nuestra señal pasa en
Televisa presenta 24 horas con Lolita Ayala y Abraham Zabludovsky.
Hay alarma en Europa. La contaminación en el río Rin ha levantado protestas y consternación en su...
Vea en el canal de las estrellas, el Pirurris presenta el programa de Luis de Alba.
¿Tu jefa es mecánica automotriz?
No, ¿por qué?
Porque la acabo de encontrar tirada abajo de un coche en la esquina.
¡Mamá!
El Pirurris presenta toda una variedad de personajes cómicos interpretados por Luis de Alba. Le invitamos a verlo este martes a las 8:30 de la noche por XEW Televisión.
Lupita. Sí, Lolita, es una llamada de Gilberto Castro desde Culiacán, Sinaloa. Está por la línea 2. Gracias. Bueno. Gilberto, buenas tardes.
Buenas tardes, Lolita. En estos momentos, el licenciado...
Hola. Sí, esta noche se improvisa. Los invito para que me acompañen este jueves a las 8 de la noche, aquí en tu canal, el canal de las estrellas. Recuerda, esta noche se improvisa.
Por el canal...
En el canal de las estrellas transmitimos las telenovelas que a usted gustan. XEW, Sistema de Televisión. Enlace con el mundo.
News 8 is brought to you tonight by Esso Standard Oil.
For Tuesday, June the 30th, 1987, here's the day in review. Good evening, I'm Ron Burton. Most of the territory's government workers received the first installment of their retroactive wage payments today, although there were some delays in distributing the checks to education employees here on St. That's our report for this evening. ABC World News Tonight follows in just a moment. On behalf of everyone at News 8, thank you for joining us, and good night.
News 8 was brought to you tonight by Esso Standard Oil.
WSVI TV, Channel 8.
broadcasting from the Sunny Isle Shopping Center in Christiansted and transmitting from Blue Mountain on St. Croix. Channel 8, serving the United States Virgin Islands and the Caribbean.
Good evening, I'm Hugh Downs. I'm glad to be back after 2 Fridays away. Do you remember how to do this?
I think so. Let's see, I'm Barbara Walters, and this is 2020.
On the ABC News Magazine, 2020, with Hugh Downs and Barbara Walters. Tonight,
cancer is a very frightening word.
Any woman can develop breast cancer. But if you're Nancy Reagan, how you reacted, how you coped are things people want to know.
I said to my husband, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry for you.
I'm sure that was the last thing in his mind.
The last thing in his mind, as he tried to tell me.
Tonight, for the first time, the First Lady tells how she faced breast cancer. Barbara Walters with Nancy Reagan, candid and courageous.
This is ABC.
And thank God it's Friday. I'm Eustace Brown. It's that time to see what's happening around town in the Virgin Islands. Highlights, the community service brought to you by Midway Airlines. We take you from the islands to the mainland, Miami, Chicago, and beyond. Antilles Graphic Arts, the home of the shopper, and Bulk International Airways, the Virgin Islands' oldest established charter, air ambulance, air taxi. We're more than a name, a reputation. The next Central High School class of 1979 meeting will be on Saturday. That's tomorrow afternoon at the Christiansted Wharf. And all
WSVI TV, Channel 8. Broadcasting from the Sunny Isle Shopping Center in Christiansted and transmitting from Blue Mountain on St. Croix. Channel 8, serving the United States Virgin Islands and the Caribbean.
For Friday, March 4th, 1988, here's the day's news in review. Good evening, I'm Kim Jameson. Planning and Natural Resources Commissioner Alan Smith has requested...
Up next on Eyewitness News.
We're at a turning point, and I think things are going to happen.
New Get Tough plans to clean up our youth crime problem. We'll have a team report.
I am deeply moved by the faith that has brought you to this gathering.
The issue of violence will be on the Pope's mind when he visits the Motor City. You'll meet the man who will be putting the words together.
And did Lee and Peggy decide that breaking up was too hard to do? Good evening, everyone. I'm Kathy Adams.
I'm Bruce Kirk. These stories plus the pros and cons of a new form of contraception.
Eyewitness News is next.
When you're a big...
Eyewitness News with Bruce Kirk, Kathy Adams, Chuck Gatica, Fred McLeod, Joe Weaver's Perspective, and the Eyewitness News team.
Topping Eyewitness News tonight, a 16-year-old boy lies in critical condition at this hour. What happens? In other news, a suburban toddler takes police on quite a long ride today.
Also, why an East Side city is trying to look for a new name tonight.
Plus, making sure that posh ride is as smooth as can be.
If you're waiting for warmer temperatures, your wait will be short-lived.
The Pistons and Wings are feeling pretty good about themselves tonight, and Isaiah talks about a rare ejection.
Si asciutti, les
On voudrait bien commencer la fin de semaine avec un temps resplendissant, un peu de soleil, mais encore une fois, on se lève avec un plafond bien bas. Quoi qu'il en soit, au risque de se répéter, mesdames et messieurs, il fait beau dans nos cœurs. Bonjour et...
This is CHRO TV, part of the Payson broadcast system.
Tonight, officer down, a Mountie shot dead in Nova Scotia. Outlawing making babies for profit. And high-flying junkyard on the Friday File.
CTV News. Sitting in for Lloyd Robertson, here is Sandy Ronaldo.
Good evening. A terrible tragedy struck today in Nova Scotia. A veteran, Murphy, will be here tomorrow. Enjoy the weekend. See you Monday.
CTV News, Canada's most watched newscast.
Why did this woman give up a six-figure salary? Because she's more interested in gold, Olympic gold. Tomorrow on CTV News.
Coming up tonight on the late edition, having a ball. Soccer players get ready for the Ontario Cup. Flying into the future, Pembroke Airport is forced to make some changes. And up in smoke, cigars gain popularity with women. Good evening. There is a big question mark tonight surrounding the future of the Pembroke Airport. If the
ever campaign for myself for President of the United States or anything else.
One last push, but it looks like bye-bye George Bush.
Here's the ball to Magic. Magic in low.
Fear one, magic nothing. Worried players chase Johnson off the court for good. And later, Fertility Watch. Are human reproductive systems polluted?
CTV News with Lloyd Robertson.
Good evening. American voters appear poised to give George Bush the political hook. The U.S.
This is CHRO Sports Late Night. Here's Brian Parker.
Good evening. Coming up on the show tonight, the Habs put their 7-game unbeaten streak on the line at the Forum against Winnipeg. Just as
Monday through Friday, welcome to South Fork, home of the rich, the beautiful, the ambitious, the Ewings of Dallas.
Dallas at 4 on K2.
NBC for Alaska, KTUU, Channel 2, Anchorage.
Good evening, I'm Maria Downey. Today, Governor Sheffield announced the state will only provide 1/3 of the money needed for construction projects around Alaska. We'll have more on that story and other news at 6:30 right here on Channel 2.
And now, Channel 2 News with John Larson and Maria Downey, John Hernandez with sports, and David Celesti with the weather.
Good evening. The news most cities in Alaska have been anxiously waiting for came from Governor Sheffield today. The state
news. Mark Air is flying cargo for the Contras in Nicaragua.
And local tourism officials are giving the summer mixed reviews.
Tonight's closing gold and silver prices are brought to you by Deke International, offering one of the world's widest selections of foreign currencies and commission-free traveler's checks.
GATV Atlanta. And now, from TV5 in Atlanta, Eyewitness News Update with Richard Belcher, Pam Martin, Ken Cook with weather, and Jeff Hollinger on sports.
Good evening. Richard Belcher has the night off. After days of open and closed-door hearings, congressional members investigating the Iran-Contra scandal are beginning to publicly split over the question of who may have known about the operation. Hi, I'm Bob Creek.
CFTO TV, Channel 9 in Toronto, Cable 8. World Beat News with Bill Hutchison and Jennifer Ward.
Good evening. Jennifer Ward is off this evening. Kate Wheeler joins me on the anchor desk. Labor problems in Metro's housing industry aren't over.
Le journaliste et auteur Michel Vastel s'éteint à 68 ans. Et fini les vacances, c'est le retour en classe au Québec. Bonne fête de soirée, mesdames et messieurs. Il fallait s'y attendre. 2 ans après l'épidémie de C difficile, des victimes et des proches des victimes réclament jusqu'à 10 millions de dollars. Il y a une
Estás viendo Notivisa a las 10, transmitiendo en vivo a toda la región. Notivisa a las 10.
¿Qué tal? Muy buenas noches. Un gusto que nos acompañen este inicio de semana con las noticias más importantes que se han generado.
¿Qué tal? Buenas noches. Gracias por seguir la información en Notivisa. Estas son las noticias del día. El sábado pasado renunció a su cargo la directora de Comunicación Social de la Presidencia y vocera.
You're watching Channel 12 Eyewitness News, Southern New England's news station.
He was shot in the line of duty. Today, a Rhode Island state trooper testifies against the man accused of pulling the trigger.
Is the water coming from your faucet safe to drink? We'll tell you what you can do to keep it contamination-free.
And an Alzheimer's alert. Take a test doctors say can help fend off the debilitating disease.
Channel 12 Eyewitness News begins right now.
Good evening, I'm Walter Cryan.
And I'm Karen Adams. He's accused of shooting a Rhode Island state trooper today.
This is Channel 12 Eyewitness News with Walter Cryan and Karen Adams.
Tonight, an Alzheimer's alert.
Plus, Mexico's president puts an end to rumors about his relationship with his spokeswoman. The whole thing cleared up with a simple, I do.
Live from San Diego's #1 source for news, Graham Ledger, Kathleen Bain, and Matt Balo's microclimate weather. Right here, right now. You're watching News 8 at 4. You're watching San Diego's #1 source for news. Right here, right now. This is News 8 at 4.
Good news for drivers fighting back against those red light cameras. A judge is throwing out hundreds of tickets issued at 3 intersections in the city of San Diego.
Live from San Diego's #1 source for news, Michael Tuck, Barbara Lee Edwards, Matt Balo's microclimate weather, and Ted Leichner. Right here, right now. You're watching News 8 at 5.
During the Hyundai Summer Sell-Down, you've got to look at
4 WOAI.
Businesses, golf courses, universities watering during the middle of the day. Why it's happening under water restrictions. Plus, a violent attack on a dog.
I just heard him stomping on something.
Why its owner is now fearing for her safety. And checks promising big bucks. Why cashing them could cost you.
Breaking news, breaking weather, investigations. This is News 4 WOAI.
Well, we've been needing it, and we are getting it. Little anyway. Rain. Live look at.
Now, Fox News at 10 on WFTX TV.
Good evening, I'm Pete.
And a terrorist group steps forward and admits to yesterday's bloodbath at an Egyptian tourist site.
Museum workers encounter an unwelcome sign when they arrive at work today. These stories are still to come on Fox News at 10. Stay with us.
watching the fastest growing newscast in Florida, Fox News at 10, with Pete Scoville, Jennifer Crawford, meteorologist Tom Chisholm, and Len Jennings, sports.
Closed captioning is a service of Goldstein, Buckley, Seckman, Rice, and Perch and WFTX-TV.
Rain-wise.
Well, I'll tell you what, looks like we are going to have a few rain showers, but not nearly as heavy as we saw last week. And a lot of folks that are from other parts of the country are used to the floods and the rains occurring simultaneously here in Southwest Florida. In fact, across.
If there was a sexual predator living in your neighborhood, you'd know about it, right? There's Megan's Law, mandatory notification, and lists on the internet. With all this new technology, you'd think it'd be pretty hard for a pedophile to settle in on your street unnoticed.
They're probably not even aware he's there.
But it's not.
These people are very transient.
It's a Fox News special investigation no parent should miss. Predators on the Move. Wednesday on Fox News at 6 and 10.
James Keith, Adam Kruger. This is San Antonio's Fox News at 9.
First on Fox, there's been another fatal officer-involved shooting, making this at least the 5th one in San Antonio so far this year. It all
Cindy Takuda on CBS 5 Eyewitness News. This is CBS 5 Early Edition.
BART is investigating how 2 trains collided on the tracks here in Oakland. Coming up, we'll tell you how many people were hurt and how trains are running this morning.
A bad economy, how it's affecting President Obama and what he says about it.
And a storm system on the way is going to give us a really good chance of picking up some much-needed rainfall as early as today. Just when will the rain move in? I'll let you know. That's coming up.
Welcome to CBS 5 Early Edition for Wednesday, February 4th. I'm Robert Lyles. John Kessler has the morning off.
And I'm Sydney Kohara. Good morning, everyone. Your time now.
Welcome to CBS 5 Early Edition for Wednesday, February 4th. I'm Robert Lyles. John Kessler has the morning off.
And I'm Sydney Kohara. Your time now, 6 o'clock.
This is CBS 5 Early Edition.
2 damaged BART trains were removed from tracks in Oakland this morning. Those trains.
Jessica Lovell, only on Good Morning 4 States. The severance pay of 2 former city employees is the issue at debate today in Joplin. We'll hear from the city manager on that issue.
15 million Iraqis gathered around the country today to celebrate newfound religious freedom, but to also call for a quick end to U.S. intervention in the country.
And a local college paper is recognized for excellence. Good evening. You're watching Action 12 News at 10. I'm Jimmy Seidlich.
And I'm Mallory Maddox. Joplin City Manager is standing by his decision after 2 city.
That story is next when Action 12 News at 10 continues.
This is Action 12 News with Jimmy Seidlich, Mallory Maddox, meteorologist Ray Foreman, and sports with Bruce Vonderhaar. This is your Action 12 News at 10.
The closed caption portion of this newscast is being brought to you by St. John's Regional Medical Center. Exceptional doctors, exceptional care.
Exactly. It's rainy and you can't even enjoy it.
It's better than a windburn, though.
That's
right?
a very good point.
Right.
News at 10. Thanks for watching.
Have a great weekend.
Salon services provided by...
Time is running very short for Saddam Hussein. That from the Bush administration today.
Tuesday and Wednesday, but I guess the good thing is, hey, no more of those ice scrapers, anything like that, at least this week. No snow.
Now, Chad Andrews with your Skywatch 7 weather, featuring Doppler 7000.
Welcome back. Yesterday we saw temperatures in the 70s. Today we'll
at your workweek forecast.
Live from KOAM TV, Lisa Oligas, Chad Andrews with Skywatch 7 weather, and Richard Smith with sports. With so You're watching NBC News Channel 11 Nightside.
Good evening and thanks for watching Nightside. I'm Elisa Rivas. Our top story tonight, a Marine FA-18 Delta attack jet crashed.
Mile count at Roper Kia, Missouri's #1 volume Kia dealer.
This is KSN 16, your hometown news at 10.
Good evening. Drivers got a little bit of relief in the 4 states today thanks to a local church.
The Family Life Assembly of God and Bo's One Stop, both in Pittsburgh, work together to help out area drivers. Bo's One Stop.
Seinfeld, only on KODE-TV, the one to watch.
The city of Joplin answers criticism about the way they handled severance packages for 2 former employees.
We'll also talk with local citizens and get their opinions on this controversial issue.
And there are 3 new movies opening at the box office today. We'll have a preview in our Now Showing report. Good afternoon and thanks for joining us for Action 12 News at 5. I'm Jimmy Sidelecki.
And I'm Mallory Maddox. Joplin City Manager is standing by his decision.
And the Douglas clan teams up on the big screen in one of 3 new films opening today. We'll have those stories right after this.
This is Action 12 News with Jimmy Sidelecki, Mallory Maddox, meteorologist Ray Foreman, and sports with Bruce Vonderhaar. This is your Action 12 News at 5.
The closed caption portion of this on Cron 4.
Go to cron4.com and click on the gift store link for half-price gift certificates.
Live, this is Cron 4 News at 11.
Developing news begins our newscast tonight. An emergency meeting is still going on at this hour in Sacramento.
This is the ABC 7 Morning News.
Good morning, I'm Mike Nico. Here's a live look at the Embarcadero this morning. Wet weather moving through, more on the way in your forecast. We'll talk about how it may affect your weekend plans in a few minutes.
And there's some wet weather in Brentwood where an accident blocks a lane at Basco Road. We'll have more details after this break and check out the rest of your commute.
I'm Terry McSweeney live in San Francisco where 6 firefighters are injured battling a blaze here in the Portola district. One of those firefighters battling for his life this morning. Details coming up in a live report.
It's frustrating for me, and it's something that I take responsibility for. I screwed up.
An embarrassment to the Obama administration. Not one, but 2 of the president's picks call it quits. The new message he's now trying to send.
It's critical that we do make time to recognize our team members.
It's a Wells Fargo tradition, all expense-paid trips for their employees. But the bank that just got a big chunk of the bailout money is making some major changes.
Among the millions searching for a job, why you may want to drastically change your resume and dumb it down.
And caught on camera, a mountain lion lurking around San Mateo neighborhoods. Good evening, I'm Ken Bastida.
I'm Dana King. The news starts now.
This is CBS 5 Eyewitness News on the CW.
I think I messed up. I screwed up. I think this was a mistake. I think I screwed up.
This is CBS 5 Eyewitness News.
I think I messed up.
Federal agents sweep through the Bay Area. Will tell you who was targeted in these raids. The prosecutor's documents in the perjury case against Barry Bonds have just been made public. We'll have a live report.
President Barack Obama announces salary caps for some corporate executives. I'll have details coming up in a live report from Washington, D.C.
Complete Bay Area news coverage starts right now. This is KTVU Channel 2 News at noon.
Good afternoon. Topping our news right now, new details about a series of raids in the Bay Area this morning headed by the Federal Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives. Now, the raid...
KTVU Channel 2 News at 5. Complete Bay Area news coverage.
I was pretty scared. That was a moment where, it was surreal.
The officers who killed that escaped tiger at the San Francisco Zoo were honored tonight and for the first time talked publicly about what happened.
A much-needed storm takes aim at the Bay Area. Find out how much rain we can expect and how soon.
This crowd went wild after a surprise move at a school board meeting tonight. What happened and what it'll mean for students.
And a decades-old kidnapping case involving 2 children from Tennessee finally is solved in the South Bay.
Complete Bay Area news coverage starts right now. This is the 10 o'clock news on KTVU Channel 2.
Good evening. I'm Julie Hayner.
And I'm Frank Somerville. They put their lives on the line when they confronted an escaped tiger, and tonight
This is ABC 7 News at 5.
We don't want to pressure them, but we would love to see them.
A Georgia couple comes to California to see the children police say were taken by a family member 20 years ago. The last time they saw the kids, they were just 7 and 8 years old.
A long and painful ordeal for that couple is coming to a dramatic end in San Jose. Is the judge ready to let Barry Bonds slide? Next at 6, what she said today that could possibly cut the heart out of the prosecution's case.
Also, mass confusion in California about furloughs taking place tomorrow for thousands of state workers. Which offices will actually close?
Plus, why the battle to put out this house fire turned out to be a disastrous night for firefighters.
Either get off of our properties and get the away from us before you get hurt.
Really?
A man who claims to be a psychic lashes out at the I-Team. You'll see what made him so mad.
This is ABC 7 News at 6.
We have never stopped loving them. We have never stopped praying for them. And
This is ABC 7 News at 6:30.
A psychic from San Mateo County appears in court tomorrow facing charges of elder theft.
Janet Adams.
You're watching ABC 7 News at 11.
Good evening. 20 years of worrying and wondering.
2009.
Good morning. Thanks for joining us. I'm Laura Garcia Cannon.
And I'm Brent Cannon. More on our top stories in just a moment. First, a check of traffic and weather. We started off with Craig.
Behold the Golden Local, 14 inches of spinning status. Who is worthy? You decide. Vote at NBCBayArea.com.
Time now is 5:13. An update on our top stories. Hundreds of San Francisco teachers and parents.
We have breaking news now. We're just getting word.
Frank Somerville, Julie Hayner. Weeknights on KTVU Channel 2 News at 6. Complete Bay Area news coverage.
From Oakland this morning, what the post office says a missing worker was doing just before she was last seen. Details next to the live report.
We're learning of a possible connection between suspected tainted peanut butter and California's free lunch program.
The Labor Department releases the new jobless rate numbers, and they don't look promising. I'm Tara Moriarty. I'll have a live report from Oakland coming up.
Well, it took a time getting here, but now rain has finally arrived, and some of it's moderate to heavy. We'll have updates on that and also your weekend forecast coming up. Mornings on 2 starts now.
Complete Bay Area news coverage starts right now. This is KTVU Mornings on 2.
It is 7 o'clock, chilly and overcast and rainy this morning. Much of it.
Dallas at 4 on K2.
NBC for Alaska, KTUU, Channel 2, Anchorage.
And now, Channel 2 News Late Edition with John Tracy. John Hernandez with sports and David Selesky with the weather.
Good evening. Topping Channel 2 News tonight, a Chugiak man is dead after a freak accident outside his house tonight. Anchorage police.
première édition avec Solveig Miller.
Bonjour, mesdames, messieurs. Ce midi, il sera question des finances du gouvernement fédéral qui sont dans un bien...
Même si Réal Giguère vous donne toutes les réponses, pas facile de percer le secret des écrans. Question de plaisir et de défi, c'est Géopardy du lundi au vendredi, 18h30. Télé 7, une station du réseau TVA.
Ah, l'esprit, l'enfant, c'est
Les lagunes de Mercier, Québec va décontaminer, l'Édla va payer. Les conducteurs ivres, encore trop nombreux sur nos routes. Cubana Airlines, les passagers s'envolent enfin après 45 heures de retard.
Le TVA, avec Sophie Thibault.
Bonsoir, mesdames, messieurs. Les lagunes de Mercier sur la rive sud de Montréal vont finalement...
Physical or mental well-being.
CHSJ Night News.
A double manhunt continues in St. John. ACOA dollars flow into Moncton Dieppe. In sports, no food for the fridge. Heading into a good-looking weekend, sunshine in tomorrow's forecast. Good evening. The search is still on tonight for suspects in what St. John police are calling two unrelated armed robberies. CHSJ Stacey Savall reports.
Bonjour, mardi 3 novembre, bienvenue à cette édition.
Nous sommes le mardi 3 novembre, voici quelles sont les émissions que nous vous proposons de voir aujourd'hui à la télévision de Radio-Canada. Dans quelques instants, à 7h, SRC Bonjour. À 9h, Les Anges du Matin. À 10h, Pacha et les chats. 10h15, Johnson et ses amis. À 10h30, le Moumins. 11h, la cuisine au quotidien. Aujourd'hui, la cuisine ethnique familiale. À 11h15, Commoné. À midi, l'édition magazine. Suivi à 12h30, les démons du midi. À 13h30, l'art de vivre. 14h30, maritime en direct. À 15h, la cour en direct. À 15h30, les Schtroumpfs. À 16h, Clip. 16h30, les Intrépides. 17h, Watatatao. 17h30, les détecteurs de mensonges. Et 18h ce soir. 19h, Marilyn. 19h30, le magazine de la santé, Comment ça va? À 20h, le téléroman Montréal PQ. 21h plutôt, restez à l'écoute, début de nouveaux documentaires. 22h, le téléjournal, le point, la météo et les sports. 23h20, Millefeuille en reprise, le magazine littéraire. À 23h50, au cinéma de fin de soirée, Echo Park, c'est un film américain de 1985 avec Susan Day et Tom Hulce. Une aspirante comédienne loue une chambre à un livreur de pizza qui tombe amoureux. Bonne journée à tous à notre antenne.
Ici Radio-Canada, le réseau national.
Ça donne la parade, première.
SRC Bonjour, c'est mardi le 3 novembre. Bonjour Maxence.
Bonjour Marie-Claude.
J'ai envie de vous rappeler des souvenirs, de vous rendre nostalgique
Ah ouais, mais je suis très jeune.
This is 12 on 12. 12 minutes of commercial-free news, weather, and sports.
Rhode Island State Trooper John Lamont takes the stand to point the finger at the man accused of gunning him down. Jury charge trials top our news.
This is Channel 12 Eyewitness News with Walter Graham and Karen Adams.
He's been on hard copy in America's most...
CFTO TV in stereo. Channel 9 in Toronto, Cable 8.
news. The leaders of the two communist superpowers meet in China as students there step up their calls for reform. In Panama, the military offers to share political power, but the opposition responds with a defiant no. And in Prince Edward Island, thousands protest the closing of CFB Summerside.
The CTV National News with Pamela Wallen.
Good evening. Soviet leader Mikhail Gorbachev has arrived in China for the first time.
CFTO TV, Channel 9 in Toronto, Cable 8. Night Beat News with Bill Hutchison and Jennifer Ward.
Good evening. Jennifer Ward is off this evening. Canadian industrialist E.P. Taylor has died at the age of 88. Born...
This is CBC Television.
Monday, October 3rd. Tonight on The National, the first poll of the campaign, and Brian Mulrooney's on top. Mission accomplished, a perfect end to America's return to space. And on The Journal, the insiders, the policy advisors and image makers behind the leaders, their strategies for the campaign. A documentary by Terrence McKenna. The National with Peter Mansbridge.
Good evening. Conservatives are feeling pretty good tonight. The first...
This is Fox 7 News at 9.
Good evening. Those stories are coming up, but first, the United Nations Chief Weapons Inspector says Iraq is making progress.
And as Fox...
Eyewitness News with Bruce Kirk, Kathy Adams, Chuck Gaedica, Fred McLeod, Joe Weaver's Perspective, and the Eyewitness News team.
Good evening, everyone. Severe money troubles have forced the Pontiac school system right...
You're watching NBC 17. This is NBC 17, the one to watch. Now, NBC 17 News at 11.
I'm Melanie Alnwick, live in Wilson with a new twist in a local teen's murder.